The unit suffered a heavy blow when these members were detained under Section 21 of the Internal Security Act, and subsequently Tate was sentenced to 5 years at Sun City for terrorism and furthering the aims of the banned organization then, which was ANC. Yeah. Comrade Tate leaves a record in our struggle which will be surpassed by few. He has certainly a seasoned political leaders of outstanding ability. I will therefore appeal to the people assembled here today and to his organization to be prepared for a situation in which the void he left will need to be filled with extreme and caution. To House Ivy, here are the lyrics to keep you closer to your lover. Now you are gone. I realize my love for you were strong, and I miss you. Now you are gone. I keep waiting here by the phone, with your pictures hanging on the wall. Now you are gone. I realize my love. You are strong. And I miss you here. Now you are gone. I keep waiting here by the phone, with your pictures hanging on the wall. In this way, it is meant to be. Only dreaming that you are missing me. I'm waiting here at home. I'll be crazy now you are gone. There's an empty place in my heart. Without my Anna, it will break apart, it won't heal. It never fades away. I'll be thinking about you every day. To the children, Palesa, chunga ndugu zako. Mikey, take care of your mom. Junior, take care of your siblings. As I conclude, Program Director, as you make your way to your ancestors and our revolutionary ancestors, Tate, kindly tell them of our plight to renew the movement they worked so hard to build and sustain. Tell them that our old ANC we are striving to rebuild, the new ANC under the renewal project, and the monsters within are at play to disrupt the project. Tell them that in its entire history, the ANC had undergone innumerable challenges, challenging epochs, but managed to survive. Put it to them that even the current phase will come to pass, and the survivor will be the ANC. As you present the plight of the ANC, generously put it to them that the monster within has developed the extraterrestrial tendency of telling lies. Tell them that the very same monsters use the ANC platform and their position to vilify others. As you tell them that, Comrade Tate, leave all of us behind, all of us had an unforgettable scar, your progenies, the entire family and the society at large will always long for that unending live conversation with you. The future is bright, the end is glorious, it is peaceful, but the intervening period is dark, bitter, and find its glory in the act of struggle. Tate Makgoe is part of the glorious part of the ANC. Go well, Pule. Go well, Herbert. Go well, Isaac. Go well, soldier. Good night, till we meet again in the morning. Thank you, Program.
The Minister of Basic Education, Mem Motshekga, the Premier of the province, the SG of our organization, bahlomphehi bohle ba lokelwang ke tlhompho ena. Ke a le dumedisa kajeno. TG and sorry ke lebetse le lapa ne tshwantse be qadile ka lona. Lapa la TG. Why was he TG? Tate got that name of TG, and I think we are two who call him that way, Tate Makgoe, because of the way he handled the finances of the organization when he was the treasurer of the Northern Free State region of the ANC. His colleagues, the officials there, mostly were very loose with money, but they would never get through him. He held that purse. You wouldn't go through him when he was the Treasurer General. When the animal was buried, or one of his memorial services, the governor of the Reserve Bank, Lesetla Kganyago, said Collins Chabane, the animal, didn't believe there was nothing that was so-called struggle bookkeeping. There was only bookkeeping, no struggle bookkeeping. Struggle bookkeeping means bushodu. Hono utswa tšhelete, ho botho ke struggle bookkeeping. Tate una sa tsamaya ka struggle bookkeeping. I was told by one Mogwenya of Lithuli detachment that Tate Moses Kotane held the purse in the 60s. Unasa Dumele on the struggle bookkeeping. That's what kept the ANC united around those times. Where did I first meet TG? Hepi unale mona abua. Onale part a lebetseng ho bua ka yona kapa mohlomong DG ha mo fa nako. Ke ne ke tswa Molephele Lilanda Lusaka. Molephele ke mone re nwa teng. Ke ya haka. At the corner of the street ke kopana le banna ba bararo. Ke bona bane ba nyoru. I think bane ba nyoruwe because bane ba eme mo khone mono ba sa tsamaya ha re bua ke bona bane ba shota. That's where I met Happy, Tate and Lista. Re la ra tlatsa di botlolo tsa makase a mosi ra ya haka. My then wife a re lokisetsa dijo, we ate. Le political education the whole night. Bane ba tsamaya the following morning on ka stopo sa Barnard ho tlisa South Africa. We sat at my place and it was a good political education because it was a mix of people from inside the country and ourselves. Tate as a coordinator of elections in the Northern Free State. We had a very strong regional organizing department there. Our organizing department meetings on Mondays was a back to school meeting. We debated, we put reports, and the reports were scrutinized. There was criticism and self-criticism. Tate attended the ROD chaired by the then Secretary of the Region, Tate Makgoe. And in the ROD, we were, if you like, equal. We criticized everyone. The organizers, the late Lewele Mudisenyan, Spider Nonkanga, yeah. Z Pori, Richard Alexander and myself. Every Monday at ROD, Tate will be ordinary. He won't be an official. He'll be one of us. He will take as much as we give, and vice versa. He never had superiority complex. He never saw himself as a leader who cannot be, criticized. In 2009, when he went to education, he told me, when I asked me how are things at education, he said the biggest problem when he arrived was litigation. The department was always in court over one thing or the other. He wanted to stop that. I think Tate being a finance man, he was worried that the resources are not going to the place where they will make impact to our people. So that was his first mission. His first mission was to deal with litigation at the university. When there were those upheavals, those who have been in the ANC at that time, you would know. There were rocky times during the premiership of terror, all the way up to probably not so far back. Every time when we meet those upheavals, Tate Makgoe, he'll go to his books. He will read. After the upheavals, he'll come back. He has attained some level, he had qualifications. Now, the reason I had a fight with Tate with his honorary degree, it's not because I was looking down to honorary degree, honorary PhD, doctorate. The reason is that the timing, his timing was wrong. The timing of him getting that degree was wrong, because PhDs were being sold left and right and center. So he got his honorary degree at the wrong time. That's why I had a fight with him. I said to him, look, all along, how you go to your books. PhD you can get, it's nothing to you. You have the capacity. I will never call you Dr. Makgoe myself. To my horror, Tuesday when we were at the family, one of the family members told me that when the Honorable Premier was making a state of the province at the legislature, thereafter Tate left and went to his office to go and write assignments. It hit me very hard. It hit me very hard because it was saying he had to. He was studying, he wanted to come back to you and throw his certificate in your face. In my face. Junior. Oh no, let me start with your mother, Junior. Where I first met Mayor Ivy, I was at Masada. I went to Tate's office. Then I had never seen Tate that happy. Broad smile, And me I una tlile ka di uniform tsa hae tsa bonese. Ana le dintho tsena tse mona. So Tate wa initially an umbrella hore yena e bolela eng, yena e bolela eng, yena e bolela eng. I knew then immediately that Tate is hooked forever. Junior, your father gave me a mission when you were young and chubby to take you along when I go to my exercises and my road work. That mission was never fulfilled. If you are still up for the for the challenge, you can see it's me who's chubby. I've started, I'm running, you must join me. One day when Tate visited me, there was a call he received. He said, Mr. Makgoe, I knew immediately it should be his son. They talked for a couple of minutes. Thereafter, he showed me something, some electronic gadget, very proud. He was saying his son and his team had developed that electronic device. I don't know what it does. They were going to the Antarctica to go and test it. No, your father loved your father. He loved you with all his heart. Let me talk directly to TG. TG, Sojalum Con. When you arrive wherever you are going, first thing you do, seek an ANC branch and join the ANC. Secondly, join MK Liberation War veterans. And lastly, or before lastly, you were just about to succeed to qualify as a veteran. You must not hurry. After your birthday, you will qualify and join a Veterans League up there. Lastly, go to MK's first commander-in-chief and the last commander-in-chief and salute and tell him that yes, he left us in 2013 when we were in the thick of the 9 wasted years. He left this country hurt because Oliver Tambo gave him a united and strong ANC. When he left, what he saw of his organization, what he saw of his government, he died an unhappy man. But tell me, we are still up. The ANC is throwing itself back slowly but surely. We will get it right. You said to me when I was going to the national conference last year, when I said, hey, I'm going to the national conference for the first time, I don't know after how many years. He said, no, it's not how many years, it's in 2007. Go and fetch the ANC that you left in 2007 in Polokwane and bring it back home. Thank you very much.
Mandla, long live ANC, long live. Long live the undying spirit of Comrade Tate Makgoe, long live. Long live the undying spirit of Tate Makgoe, long live. Amandla, aluta, continua. Qena msebenze qena. Qena msebenze qena. No, thank you very much, Program Director. My name is Khauhelo Mqebisa. I'm the Provincial Secretary of Nehau, a PAC member of COSATU. I stand here representing COSATU, standing in for Comrade Munyatso wa Mahlatsi, precisely because of his ill health. He could not make it here today. It is therefore from that account in which I'll be the mouthpiece of the Federation in the Free State here. Comrades, let me take this opportunity to recognize the leadership of African National Congress led by the Secretary General present here, the leadership of African National Congress at the level of the province here under the stewardship of the chairperson of the province, Comrade Makgoe, and his entire PC members present here today. South African Communist Party leadership, MKVA leadership, Veterans League leadership, Women's League, ANC Youth League. We want to salute you with the spirit of comradeship, the spirit that has been interpreted by our forebears. Comrades will therefore deem it suicidal not to acknowledge and give respect to the bereaved family members of Makgoe family and those that are related to the family of Comrade Tate Makgoe. Comrades, as we convey our heartfelt condolences as a federation, would want to be very precise, brief, sincere, and get seated. Comrades, who are here today as a federation to convey our heartfelt condolences to the family of Makgoe, the family of African National Congress. We are here today qualified by the marriage that we have entered into with African National Congress as alliance partnership in the province here. We are here precisely because we had two affiliates from the federation which were recruiting in the Department of Education, which are affiliated to COSATU, which is SATU and Nehau. We are here precisely because there is a recognition agreement in the department and with those two affiliates that I've mentioned. Comrades, we came here to express our profound grief at the loss of an able and inspiring leader, a dedicated servant of the people. Comrade Tate was an embodiment of qualities that are rarely found in one person: a fearless but humble freedom fighter, astute educator, unifier, and a problem solver. A great giant indeed. The best way to sum up Comrade Tate Makgoe's life is to say he was an accomplished revolutionary in the fullest sense of the word. He did everything to change the Free State in order to leave it a better place than he found it. This comrade has raised Free State flag very high through the best performance of the matriculants in 3 consecutive years. We want to assure you that he died a happy man, this one. I want to quote one of the books written by Karl Marx, The Reflection of a Young Man on a Choice of a Profession. I want to quote: history calls those men the greatest who have enabled themselves by working for common good. Experience acclaims as happiest a man who has made the greatest number of people happy. And you should know that that man is happy. That is Comrade Tate Makgoe. He died a happy man precisely because he have changed, he have touched a number of lives in this province here and the entire country. Comrades, it is like a teacher in a class when you are to get the results of how did your learners perform, and you realize that they have performed to the standard that you did not expect as an educator. You become a happiest person even than a parent of that child. You become happy precisely because that will be the demonstration that your efforts did not go in vain as an educator. So Comrade Tate, he died a happiest man in this province. Comrade Premier, as the working class was saying, we understand and we respect the fact that you've got a prerogative to appoint the Executive Council. But we're saying to you, we want men and women of high moral stamina. We want men and women of stoical discipline. We want men and women who will be selfless and serve the people of this province. This time around, we are saying we will not allow to be consulted, but we want to be part of those processes, such that we are able to own up the product that will come out after we have appointed those comrades. We want to be part of those processes of appointing men and women who will be dedicated to serve this province with distinction. We want to own up that product as a federation. We're not going to fold hands and watch when those processes unfold. We want to be the ones who are blamed to say that you have recommended so and so in that position. You have recommended so and so in that position. Now look how we see performing. Comrades, Premier, we want to echo your sentiments when you said most of worker leaders that are appointed in government positions, they are the ones who start to undermine the working class, who start to undermine the substewards, who undermine the collective agreement that we have with respective departments. We want to challenge all those that are coming from the Federation, from a South African Communist Party, to say that when you go there, after we have recommended, you must not forget where you are coming from. We'll keep you accountable, like the Comrade Tate used to be accountable to the class that has elected him, the class that has recommended him. Program Director, as I conclude, I want to challenge the Secretary General that the collective bargaining, it is under attack. The collective bargaining, it is under attack under the ANC-led government. The hard-earned gains of collective bargaining are reversed. We are not going to keep quiet whilst those hard-earned gains of collective bargainings are undermined. The public servants on the 6th of March went to a strike wherein they registered their discontent about the manner of which collective bargaining it is treated. Resolution 1 of 2018 was never implemented at its entirety. That is the concern that we want to raise as the workers. The 3% that was implemented to the public servants, it was a 3% that was unilaterally implemented. That is a sign of undermining a collective bargaining. We're not going to allow that. As I conclude, Program Director, we're saying a collective bargaining cannot be subjected to the courts. We know a platform wherein we need to negotiate for salary increase. Comrades, let me take this opportunity to say to the family of Makgoe, Khutsang le ritu, ho bantu ba lefatshe ha le tsebe, Jehova o tla le lwanela. Comrade Tate Makgoe, ha moya wa phumela ka khotso. Mandla!
Amandla, Amandla, long live the undying spirit of comrade Tate, long live. Long live the undying spirit of comrade Tate, long live. Long live the Tripartite Alliance, long live. Long live the Tripartite Alliance, long live. Amandla. The Premier of the Free State and the Chairperson of the African National Congress, Comrade Condolences, the Honorable Minister of Basic Education, Comrade Angie Motshekga, the family of Comrade Tate Makgoe, Sis Ivy, and the children, the SG, Comrade Vuta, SG of our glorious movement, the African National Congress, the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, the National Assembly, Comrade Lechisa Tsenodi, the Central Committee member and the Politburo member, the provincial officials of the ANC and the Tripartite Alliance as a whole. Let me just say all protocols are observed. It is with heavy hearts that we gather here today to bid final farewell to one of the most dedicated and loyal cadres of our African National Congress and the broader liberation movement. The news of his untimely passing came as a great shock, and even today, we feel its weight upon us. A cloud of sadness has descended upon the Free State people and on the entire South African nation. We have lost a great revolutionary. Frederick Engels said at the burial of Karl Marx on 17 March 1883, I quote, "His name will endure through the ages, and so also will his work." Close quotes. Certainly, this will be with Comrade Tate. His name and greatest works and achievements will endure through the ages. Comrade Tate's passing is a reminder of the shortness of our life on this earth. It is a reminder to us to spend life wisely and to the fullest, and being of service to others and the nation at large, as Comrade Tate did. The Makgoe family has lost a husband, a father, a brother, and a friend. As the province, we have lost an activist, a revolutionary, and a solid pillar of the education community. We take this opportunity as the South African Communist Party to express our most profound, sincere, deepest condolences to the Makgoe family and the people of the Free State. We are saddened. Indeed, Comrade Tate's passing away is a huge loss to the ANC-led tripartite alliance. Like all dedicated revolutionaries, driven by hatred of all forms of oppression and exploitation, Comrade Tate had a kind heart and deep feelings of love for his people in general, particularly the education fraternity and the poor of our country. As a person, he was always generous, and selfishness was a foreign concept or practice to him. He was truly driven by all these values, and that is what made him a revolutionary and a combatant of the National Democratic Revolution. We are celebrating a revolutionary life, a life dedicated to fighting injustices and serving humanity. He was part of the Young Lions that O.R. Tambo called to make South Africa ungovernable and apartheid unworkable. These are the same comrades who had the responsibility to build the new country after the ruins of the apartheid system. Of those who undertook this task, we can all say that Tate Makgoe was one of the best. Comrade Tate was a consummate revolutionary who knew that, I quote, there's no such thing as neutral education. Education either functions as an instrument to bring about conformity or freedom. That is why his quest was always for free and equal education, irrespective of race, creed, or color. That is why his quest was always for free and equal education. For him, the poor child was as capable as the affluent child, only if education was used as the equalizer of opportunities. Whenever we engaged with Comrade Tate, it was clear that he imbibed the teachings of Paulo Freire, who wrote in that seminal work, The Pedagogue of the Oppressed, that I quote, leaders who do not act ideologically, but insist on imposing their decisions, do not organize the people, they manipulate them. They do not liberate, nor they are liberated, they oppress. Comrade Tate was the liberator of the oppressed, not their oppressor or even the aider of their oppressor. Through excellence in education, he liberated the masses to understand, like Freire once more said, that one cannot expect positive results from an educational or a political action program which fails to respect the particular view of the world held by the people. Such a program constitutes cultural invasion, good intentions notwithstanding, close quote. He understood that the people aspire for the promises of the Freedom Charter, that the doors of learning and culture shall be opened, through which the ultimate aim of education can be realized, which is to teach the youth to love their people and their culture, to honor human brotherhood, liberty, and peace, and that education shall be free, compulsory, universal, and equal for all children. As the Communist Party, we acknowledge that Comrade Tate was not a member of the party, but he was what we call a patriot, what we call a national democrat. He was what we call a revolutionary, who found common cause, even those that he would have differed with and not agreed with ideologically. He understood us as communists that we want a different society. He may not even have wanted that society, but understood that we have a legitimate place to play a role in South Africa, even in the current task of the National Democratic Revolution. We as communists have an important role to play. That is why That is why he was never or could never be accused of being anti-communist. In our experience, Comrade Tate was a true cadre with utmost revolutionary morality and discipline. While we knew that he was engaged in business, we also sensed that he separated his business interest from his political office and influence. We believe he did not use his immense political influence for corruption, business deals that deprives the people but benefit him and his cohorts. That is why Ho Chi Minh, the revolutionary North Vietnamese president, wrote to the People's Public Security Forces to practice the moral character of a revolutionary. He said, I quote, "For myself, be hardworking, thrifty, clean, and forthright. For a colleague, be cordial and helpful. For government, be loyal. For people, be respectful and polite. For the work, be committed. For the enemy, be determined and smart." This was the essence of the revolutionary morality that Comrade Tate espoused. We call on all cadres of the mass democratic movement to emulate his revolutionary character, draw his life's example, that which was progressive for humanity, and eschew that which was regressive. Long live Tate Makgoe, long live.
Ke traile batho. Ke ba file di minutes nyana. Se extra nyana ko ke traile. Le go pole bana na ke bane ba recommendang go premier ene ke nako ya dikgobalo. Comrade Besa, ke a o tseba ngwana mme ka lentswe la hao. Re bitsa motho a moholoholo mo. Ke kopa o tlo nkemisetsa a moholoholo ka hare ho mokgatlo. Mongodi kakaretso. No bitswa fela ka o bone ntse re bina jwang. No bitswa jwalo. A ko nthusa hore mo nyolle. Yeah.
Amandla awethu umandela uthi mahlome umandela uthi mahlome hlasela osiyaya umkhondo wesizwe lusaka osesolo tayihloma osesolo tayihloma hlasela osiyaya umkhondo wesizwe lusaka umandela tayihloma
Amandla. Long live the undying spirit of Tate Makgoe, long live. Long live the undying spirit of Comrade Tate Makgoe, long live. Viva ANC, viva. Viva ANC, viva. Comrades, I think time is against us. Our apologies to the family, to the bereaved family, House Ivy, Liban. Your father was a hero of our people. Your father was a revolutionary. I dare say, like Tupac Shakur will say, as you tried to characterize your father from a garden boy, Tupac assists us further to say he's a rose that grew from concrete. I dare say your father and your husband represent Human is a paragon of human perfection. He was a revolutionary amongst the cadreship, leaders, and activists of the African National Congress. As the ANC, we are saying to you, draw solace from the knowledge that you are not alone. Akuhlanga lingahlanga. We too have lost a great servant of our people. When people die, we say many things and exaggerate their lives. It is easy to talk about Tate Makgoe because his life cannot be exaggerated. He wrote his own book when he was still alive. So draw solace from the knowledge that you are not alone. We are saddened by the passing on of this great son of the soil. To Baruti Baruna, who imbue us with the RDP of the soul, we pass our salutation. Igama lenkosi malibongo. To our comrades, Comrade Tate, many of us are here, past and present. The whole Free State is here. Former Secretary General of the ANC, ke bone le motlodisa mahlo a ngata ke tsebe ke protocol na. Comrade Tate Makgoe. History has got no blank check. Former Premier is present here, I'm told, Mme Beatrice Mashoff, and the last one, Mme Ntombela, I saw her. And the Speaker of Parliament present here, the leadership of our tripartite alliance are present here. The Premier of the Northern Cape and the Premier of Gauteng in absentia. Our Minister Me Enji and all deputy ministers present here, councillors and mayors. Comrades, leadership of the Free State, led by Mkolisi Tukwana as the provincial chair and Dielele as the provincial secretary of the province, and the entire provincial executive, and the entire executive of the provincial government led by the Premier. Comrades, when I came here, I met a lot of potholes from the airport. As a minister, former Minister of Transport, I came from Johannesburg and I fixed Mushweshwe Road. You can see it's proper now. That road was not being fixed for more than 5 years. There are potholes from the airport. I passed another one, was very big. This province have performed under Tate Makgoe. And I'm happy all of you are here. Now, Sis Angie will know this, Comrade Ace will know this. Tate Makgoe was not in the list, provincial list to government. We put him back by force. Nelimutludisitse mahlo le afemana le di mediocre ka rarona. And then they say there is a song, throwing a good love away. You might not know it now, you'll know it someday. Tate Makgoe was one of our best. And he didn't have to prove himself. It should be natural among us that we can never put this man in the streets. I came here in the Free State, I met with comrades, and we argued about Tate becoming the head of elections. I was heading elections of the NC. And we had a long discussion with him. And thereafter, I was not on the list. When Comrade Ace brought the list to the NEC took a decision that how come you bring a list here without Tate? And that's how Tate continued. I've got no doubt that Tate had a great future in our movement, not because of favors. When he was given a responsibility by the movement, he showed the way. School children, our education system, the science he brought to the schools, particularly the historically disadvantaged. For the first time, you can walk into a school and study science because of the methods that Tate introduced. Rona science ke abantu education, physical science. Baru kopanye something li laboratory ayo. And then it will lead to fire. But Tate understood that our job as a progressive movement is to uplift our people out of poverty through education. That is the task of the National Democratic Revolution. Tate Makgoe understood that when you are given a job by the movement, I hear the comrade from COSATU saying that they need to be consulted. When you have been consulted and give these people jobs to lead, what do? Some of them are underperforming. They don't perform. Renality Potolum, Marunali government ya ANC, Mo Bloemfontein. It's not an opposition government, but if you go and ask them, they plan every day to topple each other in positions. That's what they are experts of. Now, comrade Pilabaruti Kibatlauri, like we don't have faith. We've got faith. We've got hope that things will change for the better. We celebrate Tate's life that was taken untimely, and we commit ourselves that Barut, Runa skolo sa bohetene a riskeng. Re kena sena sa o lokoloa o tseba hore dintho di tla loka. Now, di tla loka hobane ANC ke rona ba tshwereng. And ha o bua ka ANC o bua ka rona batho ba moya le nama. Ha o sebetse re o beya tseleng. Tloela ntho ena ntse le re premier re shafule cabinet. Re shafula cabinet infonywa ke di principle di feng. Iseng taba re batla o kenya motho hobane o na le title. O kenya mang o ntsha mang. O tla re thusa ka eng motho eo. O tshwana kana o ntsha motho a o re wa bona o re yes batho ba tswa kenya fela motho fela ntho sa tsebo re ke sethutsela wa tsama wa fela. Yuale Tate Makgoe was the best of the ANC. And when we say we have lost, we know what we mean. And when we stood to defend the decision to bring him back to government, we know what we mean. We have indeed lost, but we've got to pick up the baton and run with it. The Free State have undergone a process to a point where politically you can say it's hamofaraging. The organization is falling apart. The organization is dying. Our people are not with us. You know, Kalipa is a mayor of Machare. He called me there and other ministers with a program, Upamisa Machare. Rekwala di pothole vala zonke, ralukisa metsi unonkga mo Machare. Akena mayor. Ki ngene hlula bo mayor before Kalipa to do what Kalipa is doing in Machare. Renale di mayor re tshwere di masipala mara o re wa sheba. People are not doing what Tate Makgoe was being sent to do, and he did it diligently. We keep these people because they are our friends. We keep them because they belong to our factions. For the sake of it, we appoint people in municipalities who've got zilch qualification. Marretsuere. Na baruti akilis ka moheteni ke batla o le jwetsa ke le jwetsa re pata Tate Makgoe itlo tjhintsha ntwe. We're going to change it. In the next coming weeks, DLL, I want you to give us a report of local government in this province. And if you've got underqualified people, you must tell me why. Why do you put underqualified people and you expect miracles? That you will transform society. You will change things for the better. But ubeile mutu mo ana le metric. Or a leader maspala umufile title le khulu municipal manager. Mutu a senang skolo ntwa e tsebang kutswa. Because he doesn't know any other thing except to steal. That's what is going to happen. Now this comrade, Tate Makgoe, was not like that. I don't know, I don't think even Free State Premier would have imagined if you do any changes that this man will be out. I don't think so. You could have kept him there or changed him or whatever. I don't decide cabinet reshuffles. It's the prerogative of the Premier. We consult each other, we talk, and all of that about who must go where, when, what time. But you need to look into quality. Now, the people, ANC will not be out of power, but will take itself out of power. Because we don't do the right things that we are supposed to do. When we say we will deal with load shedding, Sputla ya mona o ya fa hantle o tla ilukisa load shedding ye re sebetsa le ena. For the first time I listened to somebody who knows what he's talking about. Khale re mamela batho mo sa utluri o re motho na re ntwe re tla iqeta. For the first time, leave Sputla's dance. I listened to somebody who knows what he's talking about. I get ANC, Yarenka Irimbalula, Minister of Transport, Kidzebelagai Transport. Hakiketa, Beki Saranda Kabo Mampokisi and all of that. People who know nothing. Minister, you are a political appointee, ufilo musebetsi o moholo, ulola tabo mampokisi ba o advise ka transport. How are you going to run? That's why when you have a minister, you must have somebody who knows engineering. If you tell them all, una le problem ya di train, ha ke re ke a fata ntwe e ranwa ke matitjhere mos. Now, matitjhere are important sebakeng sa bona. Le baruti ba important o re ruta, but nkebe ka nka moruti ka re tsamaisa di train. Ro rapela bosiu le motshehare mo di train di sa tsamaya. I must put an engineer in that job. Baruti ba tseba hore ke tshwere kae. O bonka motho a o re botsa di-qualification o na le tsona ke doctor but of theology o boralo rana pilinomi o tla ipota ka pilinomi hobane re o rapela di-oti mo and so on gore dintho di loke. Jwale, we've got to align things in the organization. Now, as I conclude, we have agreed, comrades, to do things differently. Comrade Mkolisi, you've got a mammoth of task, but we will be breathing down your neck to ensure that things go for the better. We know where we come from. We know what happened. Some of the comrades here are in the streets. They were not utilized. And we nearly suffered a casualty with this comrade. I've given you an example. With this comrade, we nearly suffered a casualty. It so happened that he was saved by the ANC. Many of the comrades are out there. I'm saying to you, comrades, let's bury the hatchet. But if you want to fight, the ANC will respond decisively. And bury the hatchet, stop factionalism. I'm happy about this conference. I've had people who want to go to court, but they've not gone yet. And I've said to comrades as we speak, work together. Even those who lost, bring them to the fold. The ANC rejected the incorrigible. You can only lose in the ANC if you are a thief because you have lost your bread. But if you are a comrade, you don't lose. The conference re loser ki rona bana ibile re tshwere no. We have lost in conferences, several of them. So if you believe in the ANC, you work hard, you will come back. But if unulemu to fellas tlukutsebe, you won't. Now our responsibility is to build, not to destroy. And work with people who see progress, who are ready to come to the party and work for the movement. Baruti bate batlar tata isa barikinye hartsule tsileng reke yale ka comrade Tate ana ile kerekeng le ene re fumane dijo tsa moya obane ntwe ya rona ye sometimes le yona e hloka dijo tsa moya e batla thapela yale ke leboa comrades. We will attend every issue, including what Kosatu was talking about. We have a meeting today at 4 o'clock to look at issues the workers are talking about. We've got a new minister. We are meeting as the alliance together with Kosatu to attend to the issues that the comrades are talking about. They are not easy. We are faced with a number of challenges. We need to mop up and get our house clean and do the right thing. Our people want jobs. I was talking to the Youth League the other day. I say jobs cannot only be resolved by a march. They are resolved by ideas. And I say to them, the problem of South Africa's youth in the main is disengaged youth. Young people who dropped out of school, young people with early teenage pregnancy, they constitute the biggest brigade of the unemployed. That's why when you call a march, you find them there in the streets. They've got no hope. And then they characterize them as lost generation. We say, no, they are not a lost generation. What we need to do, we need to intervene, like with massification of National Youth Service Program. Take a person who's got 3 children, dropped out of school, early teenage pregnancy, put on the program of national service, you give that person a stipend, you train them, give them a skill, then they are reshuffled back to the economy to deliver. So they don't only rely on Modende, which is social security program we've got. Then that is the intervention. Other people think of shutdowns, which are not going to happen. You will have people marching, but the economy will not be shut down. Because shutdown after shutdown, how do you shut something that is crumbling? When we are working to basically make it work, and then you demand a president who's democratically elected to step aside. Ramaphosa to step aside in next, that thing is not going to happen. Our people do not care who becomes the premier, who becomes a minister. All what they want is how do we resolve their problems? The pothole kitse di shebi. Wa kena nthatisi mo mangaumo. Re tlo mo etsa mayor. No re qetile ha ebe ning a le itsebi. Iqetuwe. You are a Greg. O bone mo kintse di brille tse ntsho ntate ke kopa o di tlose o lokuse di pothole tse. O bolaye le ntwena ya hore batho ba dula ba matcha e ka ra ba mamelo. Mo mangaumo. These people will listen to you. They voted for the ANC in their numbers. But they voted for us. We reward them with what? We reward them ANC. We can't. But plotang ANC strategy. And then by election, I be wa Musebetsi wa ntate ku fedisa mokete wa dikatso tshwanel khalipa. And then national government will come in here and support you. We must fight corruption unapologetically and defeat it. Comrade Tate was passionate about education. He was a good comrade. Even here in this conference, Tate unasatsamaile lead this late. And then when we finished Nazareth, he was deployed by Khalima in Northwest. He didn't finish that job. And then he will call me, SG, we have to talk. He was very happy. He sent me a message on my WhatsApp congratulating me as the SG. And then we're going to talk. I know politics, not about him pleading for a job. I know he was going to talk politics with me as the SG of the organization. Such was a quality we had in the ANC. From the underground structures of our movement to mass democratic movement in the streets of Tumaule, to the prisons of Sun City, to the democratic dispensation of our government, and to leading in the structures of our movement, both north and south, and the entire Free State. He was steadfast. He understood that for us to change and do things, we must be equipped with revolutionary theory. Aki qetella ekere o ba lelapa aus Ivy relatletswe. Relatletswe haholo re bohloko. But we are encouraged by the fact that your husband lived a life that is fulfilling and that we, all of us, can tap from for our own progress. Thank you very much. Ke a leboha.
Baetapele ke ntse ke o manywa mona ke Reverend Captain Finger. Re tla ithuta re tla be re lo hlokahala. o re protocol ya puso hobaneng this is an official funeral ke a qoqela because ke batla re hle re ithute ha re eme re etsa guard of honor pela mofu mo pela lekase ha e le hore o phuthetswe ka hare ho flag ya Afrika Borwa jwale ntse ke mohlalosetsa ke ha hlentate moruta so gatella ha re tsebe re tswela pele ka programo ya rona ha re ntse re thola lehlaso le le khutswane fela thoko le le khutswane fela ba ga setšhaba okay setšhaba o se ka ndify ha ke go ke nna tsamaisang setšhaba ka lehlaso le le khutswane fela re nyolla our National Minister of Basic Education, Minister Angie Motshekga, batla ba tsamaya mmoho le mo primary wa rona wa Freistata Premier Mxolisi Dukwane. Mo primary ha tlo bua yena o tla bala pele message o tswang mo presidente e be ba he kona a tla fana ka puo ya hae jwale le bona ke mfile nako e ngata le sebore o bala melaetsa e mebedi mara hape ke nako a dikgobalwa ke le bonle sia ke moghaleme thank you ke lebo
Program Director, ke lebohe monyetla o ntumelle ka tlhompho ke dumetse lelapa la ntate Tate Makgoe le bana le lesika ka kakaretso ke wele ke dumedise mo premier wa rona nokubhala ndikufundi ndibulise and ababanye asibabeka besasivumelene. So protocol was established. So ha ke sa phete asura ke mamele. Ne se re dumelane hore re tla dumedisa lelapa fela le mo premier empa wena he njengomphathi fanele ubuliswe ngoba kune protocol manje kubulise ke program director. Comrades and friends, indeed today we are gathering here to bid farewell to a great man, Comrade Tate. Indeed, we are here to confirm that this great man has departed from his physical world. He has shuffled off his mortal coil, and as a basic education sector, we are heartbroken, we are gutted by his untimely demise. As we bid farewell to Tate Makgoe, Chair, we do so with heavy hearts, but at the same time with a great sense of gratitude for the time we shared with him. We take great comfort in knowledge that he will be remembered as a true champion of basic education and a servant of people. Indeed, I want to heed the advice that came from D.H. Lawrence when he said, "The dead do not die, they look on and help." Therefore, we acknowledge that Tate Makgoe has left this earthly realm and his spirit has ascended to a higher place. As the Bible reminds us, for dust you are, and to dust you will return. So as we say goodbye, we recognize that these words mark the end of a very beautiful journey, a life well lived in the service of humanity. Sadly, we accept that we have to come to terms in the fact that Comrade Tate's time with us has ended and his spirit has transitioned to an eternal realm. And despite his legacy, it will endure and will continue to cherish his memories. Because his life was a testament to his dedication to serving others and his contribution to the basic education sector, and this we'll never forget. We may feel weak now in the face of this tremendous loss, but we find strength in knowing that Comrade Tate's legacy will indeed live with us, as long as we live and cannot die. He was a leader who enormously impacted the basic education sector. You see, Premier, when we were announcing the results this year, I told other colleagues to say, even the gap is opening, there's no longer competition. He's already put a solid foundation that has made Free State unshakable. I was very privileged to have worked for a very long time with Comrade Tate. When we appointed together in 2009, and we had a discussion with him, I think Comrade Regina was also in that cohort. And I said to Comrade Tate, 5 years in Yan, and I have a clear target, OBEA. That's what I'm taking. I'm going to look at OBEA, which we have started fixing and stabilize the sector. I would say my work has been done. And I explained to him how I think we should travel this journey together. And Comrade Tate says to me, Minister, I'm a scientist, I'm not an educationist, lead, we will follow. In no time, Comrade Tate was not only following, but he was leading. He was very thoughtful, very conscientious, but also very brave. But some of the decisions that Comrade Tate had to take, I know he will say, I was in finance, he was very brave, but also very hardworking. I always said to people, If any change we want to do does not work in the Free State, which means it's not possible for it to work. And that's how Tate had really made a mark. He was very committed to his work and led to many achievements for the Free State and the entire country. When we took 2018, 2019, the country was at 60% in terms of matric pass rate. The Free State was not even in the top 3. Number 2. Number 2. It was not even in the top 3. We had Western Cape and Gauteng. Northern Cape at some stage came number 3. Free State was not even in the top 3. We're at 60%. But now, when Comrade Tate leaves, we're at 81%, a whopping 20% improvement. And the Free State did not only lead in terms of matric, because we even their achievements. This year, the Free State was a top leader statistically in matric results. It had the top district amongst the 71 districts. It came from this province. Free State was acknowledged as having the best district with school nutrition this year. That's why we're here in the province. When we looked at the basket of indicators, Free State was leading in many respects. In your primary education, in your maths, there was no time where in the Free State you will not even have them in your music competitions. They were really all-rounding and shooting from all other areas. Even in schools of specialization had started to even encourage other provinces, young Free State, a lot wanted to go to specialization because they were leading even in that sense. And indeed, he was a lifelong learner, because as he said, no, I'm not an educationist, but he started leading in the sector. He was a leader, but also a very humble servant who paid attention to everything and attended to his work with utmost dedication. D.M. Makgoe during this week said, even when we were in CM, before the other MECs joined us, when they keep quiet with this Sufikiri, because we knew from them we'll always get good counsel, but also good advice. Having had the privilege of working with a long time with Comrade Tate, he had even become a sounding board for me on different matters. As a result, I used to even invite him to join to some of the national and international trips, so that we also, when we come back, we share experiences which would have been perhaps only been exposed to the national minister. I know I traveled with him to Belgium, we've traveled to Finland, we recently went with him to Cuba to go and study the ECD model since the function had been shifted to us. And we had plans to go to the Seychelles to also go and study the world's best ECD program. When Premier phoned me about the passing of Comrade Tate, I was really gutted, because I was with him 2 weeks and 3 weeks now. We had a beautiful 2 days full session with him in the province. With him, we visited a program which we call Second Chance, which is what we are talking to SG. We had agreed with Comrade Tate to say, let's look at young people who have completed, who've passed well, but have not been placed, and who are at home with good certificates. Let's look at kids who have to rewrite. Let's also look at kids, and it was a pilot we were going to do together to enrich our Second Chance program. And typical of the Free State, the event was packed to the rafters, because he was a real organizer. And we couldn't process them, because at a meeting where we expected not less than 300, 200 young people, we had more than 2,000 people of young people during the day who all came with certificate, with papers, and we agreed with Comrade Tate, month end, we'll have a big event. We'll call all national departments to help us process young people and see how we can assist them. And I know wherever he is, will still want us to continue that program without him. And I did say to Comrade Tate, this NEET program of young people who are not in education, in employment and training, if it has to work, I'll see if it works in the Free State with your leadership. So I can the next meeting, and as I said, we'll continue with the program that Temuloi, in his memory, we have. The next program, we also on the same visit went to the ECD program. A very difficult meeting, but what stands out for me with Tate Tate was it was a difficult meeting with very heavy conversations. But two things happened there. I said to Tate Tate, you're doing quite well on top here, but look at the Free State, your children who are school ready by 5, you're not doing well. In terms of access as a province, you're not doing well. And Comrade Tate asked me to give him the reports now. I promise you the next day he had read the reports and had a clear sense of what, as a province, they were going to do to address the things we spoke about yesterday. But what helped me most also, it was when we left the meeting, we all agreed, right, what a difficult meeting. And his typical stance, Marbamaga, ECD is too important not to succeed. We're going to crack this one to it. And that's a commitment. We even shook hands to say, because Comrade Tate was committed to addressing challenges that were highlighted in the report, but in everything that he came across. During our visit in Cuba, he was very ill. But when we said to him with Ambassador Posa to say, no, wait, we'll get doctors, he refused to miss any session. He pulled himself along until we finished the program, which displayed his unwavering commitment to his work and his steadfast determination to see things through. Indeed, he was a true champion of education, and his energy would light up any educational function. Indeed, when we were in Tabanchu, and also all the officials at the FAPA, you really acknowledged him. It was a beautiful occasion. He was at his best. He was very happy. Incidentally, it is simply the best. It was so heartwarming to see the entire committee that came there, who been simply the best. So really, we're not because he will beam with joy at the sight of the province's exceptional performance, his teachers, principals, managers, and he never stopped thanking them. And Raipina, fellow minister, who created no way at Lassing, Uchorum, how Utlaka 100%. So reliable, Chancer reliable, but Barfled 100%. One, Runa and Twig Adori and Senkazon. And his passion for education was very contagious, and he will inspire all those around him with his infectious enthusiasm. It was as if education functions were his stage, and he was a star performer, captivating the audience with his unwavering dedication to improve the lives of young people. There's no surprise that during his untimely death, they have lots of condolences pouring. And I want to thank you again, Premier Unzuseka, because when the phone rang, at least I think that we were talking about Comrade Tate. But it really helped, because as soon as the news became public, my phone rang the whole day. people expressing the shock as national, not only as everybody was quite shocked. And I got lots of messages. I'll read a few. For instance, a former deputy general, she phoned me exactly when the news were going on. And I heard the news of Comrade Tate's passing. So sad. May his soul rest in peace. And he said, CEM, which is Council of Education Ministers, will never be the same again. And we all agree, it will never be the same again. And he asked us to give the condolences. I also got a similar message from somebody who doesn't talk, necessarily talk to Mepalisa. He said, what a great loss, not only to the education sector, but also the entire country. To be honest, I saw him as one of our next ministers of education. May his beautiful soul rest in eternal peace and glory. CEM will never be the same again. We received messages from Beu, from Naptos, I don't want to read them because of time, from SATU, from NATU, from the South African Ini. All our teacher unions sent us messages to really bemoan the tragedy. We also received a number of messages from all our national teacher unions, all of them expressing shock and sadness at his passing. The DA also, through its Mama Jessie, also sent, and I'll read her message. It says, the DA extends its deepest condolences to the family, friends, and the colleagues of Comrade Tate. His passing is a great loss to the education sector in South Africa, and his contributions will be sorely missed. The Education Portfolio Committee Chair herself also said we should pass the condolences to the family and the province. The DA also, through its representative, the shadow minister, also expressed their condolences. Minister Pando also wanted to be here. She also sent me her message, which I'll give to the family. All our partners in the sector, Umalusi says, when the Rakomits are here, they also send messages, which again will pass to the family. Our various school governing bodies and teacher unions have also sent their heartfelt condolences to a hero in life and death. Our country has really lost one of the most outstanding education leaders and the one who was simply the best. As Maya Angelou once said, I've learned that people will forget what you said, people forget what you did, but people never forget how you made them feel. And Tate made you feel so good, so safe, and so comfortable in his space. His leadership and vision made people feel inspired, feel valued, and empowered. He was known for his consultative and collaborative unity. He motivated people. People felt very motivated to work harder, to improve, and contribute to the greater good. He had a way of making people feel like they had a stake in the success of the education sector and that their efforts were appreciated and valued. Indeed, Comrade Tate left an indelible mark on numerous people's lives, and his legacy will remain a source of great inspiration. Although we bid him a final farewell as his body returns to the earth, his spirit will forever be with us. As we contemplate his accomplishments in life, we are struck by the immense influence on South Africa's basic education sector. Indeed, it was after the call when the news were mentioned that I really, for the first time also, came to appreciate the immense contribution that Comrade Tate. And Comrade Nopala went to share listing, and I remember that meeting. The NC screamed to say, "Haibo, Utefri State Kutatu." They can't leave this man out. He's right. I was in that meeting. They said, no, Nitiba Pidi Labantu Bashute. And it's only myself when there were lots of numerous calls that came that I said, actually, this man was big. And sometimes, Hantoili Haufu Inyaza, Ibonaki Batuba Hulelwe. So I'm trying to fight when I keep a hulu by Bulisiri Mutlomore. It's wearing to a holu, Lisire Hile. And because I think the way I got missed, I had to switch the phone off. Because you had deployed me to Limpopo. Hey, Kiko Duway. Indeed, his vision for basic education went beyond just improving test scores and academic performances. In the last meeting I was with him, he said, Minister, announce everybody wanting to know Rupa Sitse Babagai. We must get to a stage where so every child who reaches grade 12 should pass. He says we should also run a campaign of Maths for All. This 45, it should be Maths for All. And agree how we're going to get a stage where it's Maths for All. He had lots of ideas also, and I will follow up with the province to even start a provincial assessment, because he says, I want to assess a grade 12 for fella. But I'll assess from grade R, national, and that's what he was already working on. So his vision for basic education even went beyond test scores, but not exactly the test scores. As I said in the last results, the difference was so high, I even told other MEC, level second and third. He also understood that education was a pathway to a better life, a means of lifting individuals and communities out of poverty and towards a brighter future. He worked tirelessly to ensure that every child in the Free State had access to quality education, regardless of their background and circumstances. And you say, sometimes when I go to schools, because you never had that feeling in Free State. You knew that there were people, they are working, and what is it that they are doing? And his tenure, as it was reported repeatedly during the week, he had 7 years, and I can tell you, they were friends with Pangeza, but they were fighting toe to toe. There was a year he disrupted, Gauteng disrupted a Free State. Over 7 years in consecutively. Four. Immediately, the Sufi akena kahare. Halla teti karoskan la shemuna. Kitika le batu baba libona ntutentle diba itza halla. Arke ahutla kartla hu. Arhake khutla bile ke da khutlela mo lebe ha o sena motho a tla tamela mo ke re mare le monse a re keteke le Gauteng e o otlile le monse a re keteke ntweo. And because he was a gentleman, he laughed at it and started congratulating the Sufi and say, "Mfane ke tlo bontsha ke tlo otla ko otle bo tlwaelo re o ska ntwae ska nkatamela." He really was in a league of his own, a pathfinder. He was driven by the quest to eradicate poverty and underdevelopment. He was committed to the people of this country and was unwavering as he worked tirelessly to ensure that they received the best education. And indeed, he was a man of integrity, of principles, living his life by the values he held. And as other speakers had said, really loved his family. Nera Chaketsi, when we were in Cape Town, Junior, he'll bring Junior with him, we'll sit. At the end of the day, we ended knowing his family because he really cared for his family. And I want to join people who are saying, for sharing him with us. He was the most beautiful soul to have been part of us. Especially those 2 days were tough. We worked hard in those 2 days in the last 2 weeks when I was here in the Free State. But we really want to thank you most sincerely for having shared such a great person with us. For really this great son that we all cherish, we'll cherish his memory, we'll try to ease the pain of him slipping away. And indeed, his death is a reminder of the fleeting nature of life and the importance of leaving a lasting legacy. It also reminds us that material things and friendships are temporary. His physical presence may be gone, but his spirit lives. And I really want to thank even the Free State team. his managers, ke leboha tlotlo le tlhompho ne di mo fang Tate Makgoe. Because ha ne se ka lona, all this talent would not have shown. So I want to thank you, the officials of the Free State Education Department, ke leboha tlotlo le lerato le le mo fileng lona. Me ile nnete hore o na e tshwanetse tlotlo. Le bana ba hae ra ba leboha, but we also want to thank the family. Cheka Chilo Junior, they really used to love each other. Not Hashaba Junior, you could see this kid is in awe at the greatness of his father. On the other hand, Tate was in awe at the achievements of his son. So ke leboha ho le mothabisitse sa phela bana ba ka. Ha yo ntwe e bohlokwa ho feta eo. All I can do is that Ntate wa lona was indeed simply the best. All I can do is to wish you all the best. After I got the call from Tate, it's good that Motsekga is here, I started playing the Tina Turner, which we were playing with him. So much ka 4 o'clock, that's the only way I really want to remember the man, because indeed, he was simply the best. And we will always remember him, because he really liked that Tina Turner piece. And I played it the whole day on Sunday as a way of really recognizing that simply the best has gone. Thank you, ma'am.
Ke lebohe batsamaisi ba mosebetsi, ke lebohe seruti, family, house Ivy le bana, le malapa ohle a mararo a kopaneng ka baka la lesole lena. Ke ise tlhompho e kgolo jwalo ka ke tshelo go bohle ba tlileng kwano hobane nako ya rona ile. Ke kope tshwarelo ha ke sa tlo e lata ke tsamaya ka yona jwalo hobane re sana nako. Ke hlomphe baetapele ba teng kwano, mongodi e moholo wa mokgatlo wa ANC, membara ya rona ya NEC le yona fela Freistata, baetapele ba ANC kaofela ba teng kwano, le bohle bao ba le ba iphumana ba le ka ntle ka nako e telele ba tlileng hae re a leboha. Ha ke qala ke etsa mosebetsi ntumelle hobane ke lakatsa hore nke ke hule dikelello tsa lona maobane ha ke bua lepatong la yo ana sebetsa le ena warrant officer Voyomdi, ke le gare ha hona dintho tse etsahalang ka coincidence. Bophelo ha bona coincidence. Ke le ka bua ka dinambara, ke le ka ho tlisa ntho e nngwe ho lona, me ke tla etsa hape hobane ke batla le ke le tsebe dinambara, ho sebetsa ka dinambara ho monate haholo, le lona bana le tsebe hore metse ha o thata, metse o bobebe. Ha o sheba letsatsi la tswalo ya qhoku ena ke 12 kgweding ya May e leng kgwedi ya bohlano 1963. Tsamaya o lo kopanya ntho tseno kaofela, at the end of it all o tla fumana 27. Ha o fumana 27 eno e kopanye 2 le 7 e tla o fa 9. It takes 9 months for a mother to give birth to a child. The birth date of this man tells it all. When you add the numbers that you find there, when you add 1 plus 2 plus 5 plus 1 plus 9 plus 6 plus 3, it will give you 27. 2 plus 7, it will give you 9. And that is the time, the length, and that is Tate for you. When you look at the letsatsi leo la ketsalo ena ke di 5 March kgwedi ya boraro eda jalo ka go bontshitse e tla ya mane o fe 15 1 plus 5 e tla o fa 6 modimo la sebetsa a etsa tsohle ka matsatsi a tshelela ka tsatsi la bosupa a phomola. Tate o sebeditse bophelong bona kaofela 6 yeno e bona mono e le yona e bolelang lefu la hae e sama kaofela mesebetsi ya hae me o phomotse. So ke re ho lona ona coincidence ke ka ho ba ngotseng bebele ba re modimo o tseba moriri wa hao he meriri kaofela e teng hlong ya hao o tswa ha o tswala le ha o tla hlokahala o tseba tsohle. And I just demonstrated to you using the numbers that you have here. There is no coincidence. There are no coincidence why you would have the number if you check the name. Yamuna yinwa. Pule, ki di letters there 4. Isaka, ki di letters there 4. Nickname yae ki Tate. It has to do with the solid foundation in the number 4. He was solid. And this is what we have. Solid. That was the character of the man. We bid him farewell. There are no coincidences in life. It's only that we as human beings, there are things that are hidden from us. But all the time, we must pray for God to reveal all these things to us. There are 24 speakers. How close a family, 2 plus 4 is 6. Ingile na kwa kaofela. Sebeditse ne di bua ka mosebetsi wa Tate. All these 24 speakers, 2 plus 4 is 6. And I told you what it meant. He worked. You were talking about his work, and this program demonstrated that there are no coincidences in life. You work, you write your own history as you live. Before I read what the president has written, I just want to challenge you again, all of you who are here. Tate Makgoe, fondly known as Tate Makgoe, did not want to be only the best. He did not want to be better than any of us, because he would be seeking to be measured by our own standards, and that will be very low for him. But he aspired to be absolute, authentic to whom he is and he was. And that is why he is irreplaceable. That is why there will be there will never be another Tate Makgoe because he was authentic. Osaivi, when words fail us, when all has been said and many people have spoken, sometimes we need to go back to the creative people. Craig Morgan, in a song, When I'm Gone, writes the following. And this is what Tate would have wanted to say to us when he passed on to all of us gathered here. My last breath, I want to take with a smile and no regrets, no hope of turning back that dial. Let a story I have written be something worth leaving behind. When I'm gone, tell them I laughed more than I shed tears. When I'm gone, tell them I stared down all my fears. That I danced on a wire and I walked through the fire. That I lived every moment till that moment retired me. So my life goes on, it goes on when I'm gone. That is what Tate would have wanted to say to us. To you, House Ivy, another version of the song with the same title, but this time by Joey and Rory. There's a country music. This woman, una sanze abona lefu la hae hobane ona tshwerwe ke cancer e ne le advanced. She penned this, and this is what Tate would have wanted to write to you. When I'm gone, a bright sunrise will contradict the heavy fall that weighs you down. In spite of all the funeral songs, the bird will make their joyful sound. You wonder why the earth still moves. You wonder how you will carry on. But you'll be okay on the first day when I'm gone. Dusk will come with fireflies and with poor will, and crickets call, and every star will take its place. And silvery gowns and purple shawls you lie down in our big bed. Dread the dark and dread the dawn. But you'll be all right on that first night when I'm gone. You'll reach for me in vain. You will be whispering my name as if sorrow were your friend. And this world so in the end, but life will call with daffodil and morning glorious blue skies. You will think of me some memory and softly smile to your surprise, Osaifi. And even though you love me still, you will know where you belong. Just give it time. We'll both be fine when I'm gone. The message from the president of the country.
Premier, can I request that we all rise as the message from the president?
This message is addressed to dear Sister Ivy, Palesa Maki and Junior and all the children. We embrace you with love and sympathy today as you lay to rest your beloved husband and father, Pule Herbert Isaac Makgoe. At the same time, our prayers and thoughts are also extended to the family of Warrant Officer Vuyo Mti, who lost his life in an equally untimely manner in the same tragedy. Today, the people of the Free State and the nation at large are united in mourning the passing of Tate Makgoe, a remarkable person, an outstanding leader, and a passionate champion of education as the root of personal and societal transformation. It is natural in circumstances such as this that our attention is drawn to the fact that Tate Makgoe has been taken from us so shortly before his landmark 60th birthday. He was a life devoted equitably to our liberation movement and its development as a person and a leader through a passionate pursuit of education. Tate Makgoe served the people of the Free State and our country through various terms as a member of the Executive Council for Finance, Tourism, Environmental Affairs, Agriculture, Public Safety, Security and Licensing, and mostly recently education. His credentials as an activist were as impressive and inspirational as his academic achievements, which include a Bachelor of Commerce degree from the University of South Africa, an honors degree in commerce from the University of the Free State, and a master's degree in business leadership from UNISA. His personal journey made him the invaluable champion he became of education in his home province. His lifelong commitment to a better life for all the people of the Free State gave him a profound appreciation for education as the portal to individual and collective realization, dignity, and prosperity. Tate Makgoe was passionate about the African child and worked night and day to ensure that a child in the township and rural areas had as much opportunity to thrive and excel as a child in the city. He recognized that government alone cannot fix education. As a result, he built a network of partners from corporates and civil society to ensure success. It was through the program of Adopt a School Foundation and the KST partnership that I had the pleasure of working closely with him. When the Cyril Ramaphosa Foundation and Kagiso Trust established KST Trust with the aim of transforming education for rural and township schools, the Free State Province, under his stewardship, was the first province to embrace this model and entered into a partnership in 2013. Through this partnership, he ensured that the delivery of quality education became a reality. Tate Makgoe was a visionary and astute leader who was able to transfer his passion of improving the future prospects of an African child through quality education to the officials and partners in education. In 2009, when he joined the education portfolio, the Free State had achieved 71.8% pass rate in the National Senior Certificate. And today he leaves us, having led the department to achieve 88.5%. Not only did he lead the department to achieve outstanding matric results, but ensure that the Free State also topped the charts in primary school results, school nutrition, and championing social welfare programs in schools. His remarkable achievements of transforming the system of education in the Free State will maintain the province's status as the best in our country for many years to come. On achieving this success, he was happy to share valuable lessons with other provinces. Tate Makgoe's legacy is one that will keep on giving as generations of young Free State citizens step into progressive better future through the doors of learning he helped to open. In private terms, his legacy will be encapsulated, my sister Ivy, in the warmth and love with which he shared a life of public service and profile with you and the children as the loved ones closest to him and as the safest retreat from the slings and arrows of public leadership. We thank you for sharing your husband and father with the nation. We stand by you in this difficult hour, and we will be at your side in those times when you remember Tate with sadness, as well as those times you will be proud and joyful at what he has meant to the nation. May his soul rest in peace. Yours in sorrow, signed, Mr. Matamela Cyril Ramaphosa, President of the Republic of South Africa. I thank you. Let me say this as I conclude, so that you know, Dr. Zamani Sol, Tate Makgoe was not one of the longest serving members of the legislature. He was the longest serving member. He was not only the longest serving member of the legislature, but he was also the longest serving member of the executive. From 1994 up until now, it was only 2001 to 2004 that he was not a member of the Executive Council. So here we are bearing a real cadre of the movement, a committed soul, a leader, and a proud father, loving husband. And to the family, as governor of the Free State, we give you honor for the moment and the times you have given us this hero, this giant. He is no more, but his legacy shall continue. He lives among us. His work speaks for itself. Siyabulela.
Ra leboha Premier ka molaetsa wa matshidiso o tswang ho wena as our Premier le molaetsa wa matshidiso o tswang ho the President of the ANC, the President of the country, President Cyril Ramaphosa. Ke batla ho lebohela mamello ya batho bohle ba ka mona le discipline hore re ntse re le full house. Ha ke bitsa mme Monsensiu ho tloetsa diteboho mare ne ke fila hore as a program director ka nnete ke tshwanela ho le leboha for tshebedisano mmoho eo lebileng le yona. Ha wa ba le traffic e ngata, re ntse re le full house re tletse. Ke lebohile haholo mme Monseng Nsonyoloa a kere MEC wa rona, MEC wa health.
Thank you, Program Director, and let me also ke lebohele lapa la Ntate Tate, malapa a mararo a kopaneng a ileng a bitswa la Makgoe la Tlaletsi la Khayane. I'm also going to go by the directive of the DG when he said we must also recognize the Minister of the Education, Mayor Angie Motshekga, also the Premier of the Free State, Tate Makgoe. We also want to recognize the Secretary General, Tate Mbalula, and let me say, because indeed the time has gone, I say protocol observed. Mosebetsi wa ka ha so motelele ho ba kuisa ditebogo e seng ho tla etsa di speech ba kenana se di entswe. Let me start by thanking Comrade Tate himself. Let me say thank you, Comrade Tate, for dedicating your life to serving the people of Free State and South Africa in general. We stand here to thank you, and also thanking you for having been a mentor to all other executive members. We also want to thank his church, is the Eagles Christian Church, that is his spiritual home. We want to thank you for looking after Tate and making sure that he is spiritually healthy, because that is necessary, and I think that is also what also drove him to be able to continue being simply the best. We want to thank the three families, like we say, for giving us Tate, because Tate spent most of his time serving the people, working for us, and not spending time with his family, not because he loved to any less, but because he felt the need to serve the people. I want to thank the African National Congress, his political home as well, for also allowing Tate to serve the people as he did. I want to also take this opportunity to thank everybody that gave us the message. But outstandingly, I would like to thank the Secretary General's message and also the President's message that was read by the Premier now for everybody. Kaofela ha lona mantswe a lona a tlameletse maqeba a teng dipelong tsa batho kaofela ba teng mona kajeno, including the family, hobane ke yona haholoholo e hlabeileng ho feta mang kapa mang. Tsenene ya lefu e kene ho bona, ke a tseba dipelo tsa lona ka mona kaofela di hlabehile, empa mantswe a builweng ke dibui tse buileng a tlameletse maqeba ao. Re celebrateile bophelo, a life well lived, serving the people. And ke a dumela go ba bangata re ithutile tse ngata kajeko ntle le hore re ithutile mona lefung la Comrade Tate le bophelong ba hae hona le tse ngata tsa di sileng, because everybody who stood here said Tate wrote his book, so it was easy for everyone that stood here to talk about Tate. Let me end by saying, Comrade Tate, go well, farewell. We would indeed pick up the baton and make sure that we continue serving the people of South Africa. Mandla.
Thank you, Memonse. DG, di tsibiso hore kamora sebeletsa kereke bana har qeta fa moruti ke moruti ya tswang Symbolism, moruti o santsang ka mosebetsi ha ona mo tla hla re bua teng hape. Jwale ne ke re di tsibiso di tsamaiso dintho tseo kaofela di hle di hlaloswe e sa le hono jwale. Thank you.
Re a leboha hape program director. Re amohetse melaetsa mme re tla e fetisa lapeng
tsohle eo ge eo ile nyatla ho tswa Afrika Borwa ka bophara mme Motshega letona la rona o sa ile bala emeng empa melaetsa yohle e fitlile familing mme le fitletseng ho mmuso re tla e fitisetsa ho family a re tloa mona re ya setsheng sa bafu Bainsflay mme re kopa hore family kaofela e kentse di ibitswang beshanyana tsena tse re di kentseng kwano mo accreditation e kentseng family kaofela ba tla ya mo no motseng o khutsitseng to the graveyard at Bainsflay. And then our guests with a green sticker will also, or green color, will also go to the cemetery. And our guests with a yellow sticker will also go to the graveyard, the church, and the police. The rest of other people will be served here immediately after the procession has departed for the cemetery. And when we come back from the cemetery, the rest of the family will go home. They will be served at home. And the rest of the guests will come back here and they will be served food here. So thank you very much, Program Director. I hand over to Captain Finger, the chaplain, to help us depart from this place.
Kia leboa Program Director, o son khalemetso re ska ba ka rera le ha ho no dutse pelong ya ka hore jole ka class policing ke rongwe ke General Motsonyane ke re fela ho family letsatsi le tla tshaba bosiu bo tla feta kapa ke re hape ke qetella la itse ba load shedding moske tloba boroko mabone ha tima re a hlonama mara ntwe ke ratang ke hore ha mabone a tima ha hona ya tlanne are o cheka diterata na di ntse di maemong a jwang ha hona ya yang switching hobane wa tseba hore ka mora hora tse pedi motlakase o tla khutla tshedise hamba yeso modimo maobane ene le modimo ka jeno ntse le modimo lo sane e tla bentse le modimo ka Kriste morena amen. Ki tlo bitsa mabitso a di Paul Bearers metsela yo ba tla ka yona ba tla ba tswa monyako wane ba tla jwalo ke kopa di camera a ke tsebe na re ka ditse jang ba tlo di thula bo mele bontate one of our program directors o se a lebohile order eo sa le lebile le yona o twa tshimolong ya mosebetsi ona re a leboha ka nnete le hona jwale ha re tshwareng fela jwalo la re segele mabitleng ke bitsa lebitso la warrant officer Ramotswela a latelo ke warrant officer Kgathatse, warrant officer Ndai, warrant officer Musia, warrant officer Mahlatsi, warrant officer Pofolo, warrant officer Notwani, warrant officer Mrapedi. Katlasa our marshalling officer, Ellen Lieutenant Colonel Muilwa. Batata he, Katsala Yubatson Tlagayon. Over to you, officers. Thank you. Habanza Batla Joalu, Kikopolo Sibisa Sela, Eruto Samakayon. Kapili Pili Tabaruti.
ka pele ba tla ba tsamaya hole le nna ba ke tlo ba ra mesifa. And then immediately after them, o tla latela nna as the chaplain. Chaplain ke moruti wa sepolesa, ke moruti le nna. As the chaplain, immediately after the chaplain, ho tla latela the pallbearers, bao ba tla beng ba tshwere le kesi. And after the pallbearers, ho tla latela the commissioned officers. Ho latele bohle ba lokela ke tlhompho bo primary jwalo. And then after that, ho bo ho latela family. And after the family, e tla ba setjhaba kaofela. Ke a leboha bo mele bo ntate. Ke tshepa hore I was clear on that one. Thank you very much.